Hi, this is Gerald Salenti. It's Thursday, August 13th, 2020. And here's some of today's trends in the news on the market front. Mixed over there in Asia. Down, down, down in Europe and the USA, but not a lot. Things are still pretty high and overvalued. You got gold still hanging around that 1950 mark. It was up today. Silver's up some 10%, hanging in around $27. And again, you know, we had that big correction recently. Have to watch where it's going, but your forecasts are in the Trends Journal, so you know where we think it's going to go. And it's going to go because the dollar keeps going down. Down, 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 down. And how down is it going to go? Well, how high is Bitcoin going to go? That's getting near the 12,000 point. People are looking for alternatives. And now more and more talk out there, and the polls are showing it. Nobody wants to touch that dirty cash, so they're going to come out with more digital trash. And again, that's in your Trends Journal. There's plenty of life in the US dollar, says Dominic Bunning from Financial Times. Well, I would say budget deficit reaches 2.2 trillion this year so far, and they're estimating that it's going to reach $3.7 trillion in the US. The dollar's only strong because all the other economies are weak, and they're all going down big time. So yeah, the euro's going up a bit, the yuan's going up a bit, but this is going to be a very long, disastrous downturn. It's not a short-term play. Singapore's economic contraction in the second quarter was worse than initial estimates. It only sunk almost 43%. This is Singapore. Yeah, they're going poor. And so is the world. This is unprecedented in world history what's going on. Over 1 million jobs lost in Spain. Russia's output shrinks as nearly all sectors slow. It only fell 8.5%. Hard times are here as British economy reels. Yeah, what did they reel about? Well, let's see here. Economic output declined only 20.4% from April to June compared to the previous quarter. This is unprecedented. We've never seen these kind of drop-offs that have been caused the way they have by businesses being closed down. This is different than when there's a financial thing going on with the equity markets and real estate markets and it starts collapsing. This is the collapse of entire economies and nations by politicians, but they keep blaming it on the coronavirus. What do you have? Cisco to pursue deep cost cuts. They're only looking to shave off $1 billion. Sales decline 9%. Lyft records severe revenue drop during pandemic, during lockdown by politicians. Let's see, their San Francisco-based ride-hailing company said it had 8.7 million active riders in the 3 months that ended June, compared with, you ready? 21.8 million in the year earlier. New York, discount retailer, it's not really New York, but it's from CNN. Discount retailer Steinmart has filed for bankruptcy and plans to close most of its 300 stores. Co-working companies begin to retreat. Wow, would have never known that. We said this would happen back in early March. WeWork, you're out of work. Nobody's working, and they're not going to work in these places because everybody's afraid. I can't stand going out anymore. I went out last night for the first time like in 2 weeks to do some shopping, and I'm hearing in the stores, we're doing everything we can to protect your health. You walk in and they hand you the cart, and the woman's wiping the thing off with sanitizers. Oh yeah, the FDA just came out again today. Hey, that sanitizer you're using, yeah, that's really not good for you. Oh no, it's fine to put all this crap on your hands all the time. They keep saying one after another how dangerous this is to your health, and people are living sanitizers. The fear and anxiety that is spread has sucked the joy out of life and the economy. 2 leagues decide not to play roiling college football season. The Big Ten and Pac-12 abandoned their plans to play for the fall over the coronavirus concerns, a move that fractured the season and promised repercussions far beyond the playing field. Yep, all the kids go to college, you love this stuff. All the young kids that want to become sports stars, and all the money that they're losing, and the big networks as well. ESPN, Fox face college football blow. Advertisers, they spent $1.6 billion on national TV advertising for college football last year. Fox and ESPN, yeah, they paid a combined $5.6 billion to air these shows. Fox also owns 51% of the Big Ten network. You see what this is doing? It's at so many different levels of life. Musicians, crafts fairs. You used to have all the state fairs and all these other fairs where, people could sell their crafts and their art. Gone. Conventions, trade shows, over. It'll come back. It'll come back. No, it won't. It's a long, long downturn. Will there be spikes up and down? Yes. Same thing with gold and silver. But long term, it's in your Trends Journal. And thank you all for subscribing. It's the only magazine like it. And if you don't believe me, just look at the headlines of what's going on around the world. They just announced the Tribune closing 5 newsrooms, including New York Daily News. Every day, every week, more and more, from BuzzFeed to Vox to Vice to you-know-who, anywhere. They're shrinking, we're getting bigger. Why? And again, I'm sad our business is doing great because people want to know what's going on, and we're doing everything we can to provide them with the information of what goes on, what it means, and what's next so they can prepare for it. Well, these businesses are going down and out. But my sadness is because I'm a visionary, and I see the future, and it's very dark. Luxury good giants show an edge. Virtually all luxury brands suffered revenue drops of more than 20% in the first half. That's the big ones. The smaller ones, like Ferragamo, down 60%. And then who does it hit again? I'm mentioning this because the bigs are going to gobble up more bigs. And they're going to get much bigger. And they're going to gobble up the smalls that are going to go away. And all we're going to be living in is a monopoly land. It's almost like that already. It is already with the whole internet, controlled by just a few. And just as these slimy, low-life politicians close down all the small, non-essential businesses, they let the big ones like the Walmarts and the Home Depots, that's okay, you could stay open. But all you little guys and girls, you're out of business. Coronavirus makes for brutal quarter for smaller U.S. companies. Small and medium-sized U.S. companies suffered complete wipeout in profits in the second quarter because of the COVID-19 crisis. This is financial. Not because of the COVID-19 crisis, because of moronic, ignorant, stupid, self-centered, egotistical maniacs destroyed it. Again, these are the same moronic people that when I was a kid, they had us hiding under a desk in case an atom bomb went off. And then when you got bigger, they told you, don't look at the flash if you see it, when they had us standing with our hands behind our heads. And they did it with the same arrogance they're doing it now. Same made-up crap. You can, when you're sitting down outside or inside, you can eat, but when you stand up without a mask, and then when you stand up, you got to put the mask on. You're in Europe, it's 1 meter. France and Germany, which is Europe, 1.5 meters. Oh, America, 2 meters. They're making this crap up, and the people are swallowing it. As earnings draw to a close, companies with the Russell 2000 stock index, a small cap benchmark, have reported an aggregate loss of $1.1 billion, compared to profits of almost $18 billion last year. National chains abandon Manhattan. It's unsustainable. And that's why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. Go back to February when the freak out was happening. I said this was going to happen. People would be leaving densely populated areas because they're so afraid. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Bloomberg, and I should be happy, but I'm sad as sad can be. Catskills town leads U.S. in rising home prices with New York City exodus. A picturesque Hudson Valley town north of New York City has the fastest rising home prices in the United States. The typical home in Kingston, New York, now on the receiving end of the exodus from the densely populated city, had an 18% jump in home sales year to year. And I own some of the most precious four corners in America. That the prices are going up in the real estate market that I have, and the Trends Journal, because the world is looking, and that's our subscription base, a third of it worldwide is going up. I should be happy if I was a maniac businessman that only wanted to make money, but my heart is crying because I see the future. And if we don't turn this around and stop this madness, we're going to be living hell on earth. And here are the maniacs. You got one down there in New Zealand, the clown running for re-election. After 102 days, coronavirus returns to New Zealand. They found a family and it got some new cases, right? New Zealand, the first locally transmitted cases of coronavirus in 102 days reported in New Zealand, prompting authorities to reimpose restrictions in its biggest city as they scramble to prevent a wider outbreak. Like they know what the hell they're doing, and there are 5 million people in New Zealand, with a grand total of 22 deaths. And now the CDC is coming out and others are saying what we've been saying because of what other professionals have been saying that we've been listening to, is that the death rate of this is about 99.5% at the very worst, maybe more like 99.2% chance of dying. And most people don't even know they're getting it. And this is what the woman running for re-election said. The new case is set up for return to, quote, alert level 3 restrictions in Auckland. Restricting people to stay home from work and school for 3 days. You're making this crap up. How come you don't know it's 10 days or 20 days? And here's what she says. Act as if you have COVID. You know what that is.
Absolute bullshit.
Absolute bullshit from more bullshitters around the world. And that's what people are doing. They're acting as if they have COVID. They're walking down the streets with nobody around with masks on. They're driving in their cars with masks on. They got little kids with masks on. And the facts about the masks are there. Wearing them like they're wearing them is not good for your health. And by the way, if you believe it stops it, what the hell are you bothering me for if I don't wear one? You're safe. Everybody has that. One's on safe, so leave me the hell alone. But talking about maniacs, madmen, and boy, this guy, they shot him up with something. You know, I remember when he got hair transplants many years ago. Biden.
That is bullshit.
That's right, bullshit Biden. What a disgrace. Trump or Biden, the American presidential reality show. And now he brings on Kamala Harris. And we'll get to that in a minute. Biden calls for mandate requiring all Americans to wear masks. Achtung! Who the hell is this little clown piece of garbage crap? And the morons will follow, just like they're doing. Former Vice President Joe Biden, who's been sucking off the public tit all his life, said on Thursday, today, that a nationwide mask mandate should be imposed to help fight the spread of coronavirus pandemic. Every American should be wearing a mask. You can shove that mask up your you-know-what. Hey, Biden, come over here and try to put a mask on me. Leave your little boys behind. Leave your little boys behind. Oh, yeah, Hunter, he won't be around. He'll be doing a dirty deal somewhere around the world, so he won't come around. You come around and try to mandate a mask wearing. Any governor, anybody, any public official piece of crap, try to put a mask on me. Leave your goons behind. And you see what they're doing? All these tough cops? Not here in Kingston. I saw one in Australia. An 8-year-old kid they threw to the ground to put a mask on. He wouldn't wear a mask. A little girl. Let's institute a mask mandate nationwide, starting immediately, and we will save lives. The estimates are we will save over 40,000 lives in the next 3 months. Oh, 20,000 months. Oh, estimates by who? By who? By a bunch of bullshitters like you and the scum around you. Hey, how about the millions of jobs that have been lost? Now only around 30 million. How 40,000 people will save. Who's dying? Who's dying? You know who's dying. Younger blacks at increasing risk. Goes on to say who's dying. Story here in the New York Times. And you read about the people. And it's one, he weighed about 300 pounds, but he was tall and muscular, his mother said. 300 pounds. I remember there was this Fats Domino song. They call me the fat man, 'cause I weighed 200 pounds. That was in the late 40s, early 50s, now 300 pounds. The people that are dying from this are from the majority nursing homes. The numbers are there, and the fraudulent numbers are being, again, all the studies are coming out now showing what a fraud it is and a cover-up it is. This was from Associated Press about how King Cuomo's lying about the numbers here in New York that came from nursing homes. Pennsylvania had 68%, Massachusetts 64%, New Jersey 44%. The running tally by the Associated Press shows that more than 68,600 residents from nursing homes and long-term care. For all 43 states that break out nursing home data, 43 states, 7 don't, and they go on to say that some states don't count deaths despite deaths from homes where there are fewer than 5 have died. And if they took them out of a nursing home, they died in a hospital, they didn't die from elder care. You see where this is going? Lights out for Marquee Restaurant. Michelin-starred chef Thomas Keller said Wednesday that he's shutting down his tack room restaurant at Hudson Yards. Hudson Yards is an ugly, disgusting, $25 billion piece of garbage-looking crap development that they just finished a little over a year ago. Dead. Dead. Commercial real estate down the toilet. And one after another. New Jersey schools can only start online. Unions seek delay of in-person classes in New York. So, unions. All right, teachers' unions, you're not teaching. I don't want to pay these kind of taxes. All the buildings are closed down. There's going to be a tax revolt. And here's the thing. Here's how they spread fear and hysteria. There's a big toilet paper record, big story. Back to school in Georgia, 1,193 are quarantined. You know why? Dear parents, wrote Dr. Ashley Kennedy, the principal of Sixes Elementary School, I am writing this letter in order to communicate that a student in the 2nd grade has tested positive for COVID-19. Testing positive means nothing. Children aren't dying. All the numbers are there. We have them in the Trends Journal. It's mass insanity. Mass insanity. A lot going on. We'll cover more of it in the Trends Journal, and particularly the presidential reality show. What a farce this thing is. What a farce this thing is with Kamala Harris. Running mates differed on some policy stances. There's a story in the Wall Street Journal. Energy and climate, healthcare, trade, guaranteed income, immigration, taxes. Not one word about the military-industrial complex. Not one word about all the people that America's killed. And they keep putting more money into the defense budget. Not a word about it. You know what it is, the presidential reality show? Nothing more than a load of
bullshit.
You got it. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.